Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Just having a conversation in the break. Ryan joining Rick in his argument about how the Grizzlies never should have drafted Steve Francis because he didn't want to come here.
Yeah.
And you've got company in the wrong department.
Nope.
We'll get to that in a second. What is it today? Tuesday?
It's
Bayside?
Tuesday, so you're talking about our friends at the Bayside Resort.
All of our guests today brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort, located oceanside in beautiful Parksville. The Bayside Resort is one of Vancouver Island's premier getaway spots. Call now to book your reservation and mention Donnie and Dolly for 10% off your nightly room rate. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com or call 250-248-8333. I bet you there are athletes in Seattle that people in Seattle don't like. Let's find out right now as we bring in from KJR Sports Radio in Seattle in the wake of a Seahawks loss to the Falcons on the weekend. Ian Furness, how are you, sir?
Couldn't be better, Donnie. Couldn't be better.
Okay. We're going to throw a curveball at you. We'll get to the Seahawks in a second.
All right.
But
sure.
our poll question today, who is the most hated athlete in Vancouver sports history? Mark Messier is running away with it. Steve Francis running second. It's only a two-person poll. Ian, who do people not like in Seattle athlete-wise?
A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez would be number one. At least he has been for a long time now. That may have changed. We may have a new number one. It may be Russell Wilson. Yeah. But it was A-Rod forever. But I think Russ might be right there now.
A-Rod because he took a whole bunch of money from Texas and left Seattle high and dry. What else is going on there?
Yeah, there was more to it than that, and how he went about it, kind of the way Russell did as well. And so, yeah, I mean, part of you could say you couldn't fault him for taking the money, right? But when these guys say it's not about the money, it is about the money. So yeah, A-Rod's always kind of been that guy, and just the hatred towards him. I mean, there's athletes that play for other teams maybe, but I think by and large it's kind of A-Rod. But I think Russell has jumped into that race. Back when the Sonics were here, Karl Malone and John Stockton probably were fitting that bill in the late '90s, early 2000s, but. I think it might. You know what? The more I think about it, it might be Russ. It might be Russ. Just judging from the response when he came back a couple weeks ago.
He is going to get his number retired, is he not? Russell?
I don't think his number is going to get retired.
He'll
go now. But remember, the NFL. It's just such a hard thing to do to retire a number. You've got 99 numbers you can use. They're coded in terms of what positions.
True.
Although they've changed that a little bit, And so the Seahawks policy, it's never been really spelled out officially, but it's kind of easy to see. If you're a Hall of Famer and you played your entire career in Seattle, then that's the guys like Walter Jones, Cortez Kennedy, those types of players. But outside of that, no. I mean, he'll be in the Ring of Honor, and the Ring of Honor is a great he'll be in that for sure. But I don't think his number is going to get retired.
Do you think Roberto Luongo should have his number retired here in Vancouver? Okay,
I do. The first goalie that was a captain. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on from this conversation then. And I'm all for people who don't watch the show on a regular basis. I'm all for Roberto Luongo getting his number one retired as long as it's a dual ceremony with Kirk McLean. All right, Seahawks lose.
I would tend to agree with that.
There you go.
Yeah,
beautiful. Good guy.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Just retire both of them and be done with it. Absolutely.
The Canucks should retire Russell Wilson's number.
They should.
Falcons beat
along with BXA, right?
Oh yeah, sure. Number 3, very good.
There you go.
Pat Quinn wore 3 too. He's already in the Ring of Honor. Okay, Seahawks lose to the Falcons. Where's Seattle's defense at, Ian?
The great question, Donnie. Did you guys spot it north of the border? I have no idea, man. They are awful, man. That's a bad defense, and not only that they're not physical, and I think that's the hard thing. Is Pete Carroll's defenses have always been physical. They've always been aggressive, and Quandre Diggs said in the locker room on Sunday after the game, I was kind of taken aback and startled by that and re-asked the question, but he talked about the fact that they're not physical enough, and there's guys kind of quote taking days off, which means I think more than anything taking plays off, and we're seeing that quite a bit. They're schematically, they've already changed what they were going to do. They're going to run a 3-4. Now they're back to running a 4-3 sort of. So they're just a mess defense. I'll be honest with you. They're a mess defensively, and offensively they can't score in the second half. That's, last I checked, a bad combination all the way around.
Hockey is in the air, Ian.
Yes,
Training
it
camp
is.
is underway for the Kraken. Second one. Seattle, Vancouver going to play a couple of preseason games this week.
Yep.
Shane Wright, you tweeted just actually moments ago that he's going to make his debut tonight. It's going to be fun to watch this kid tonight. A lot of anticipation there for him.
Yeah, I don't know quite. It's certainly not like if we were in Canada by any means. And we're so Mariner centric and Seahawks centric, and to a certain point UW and Wazoo football centric right now. I'm excited to see him play. I'm going to go tonight and check it out and just get a chance to lay eyes on him. It's interesting what they're doing with their lineups in the preseason. I know every team does it different. Last night, by my count, they had about 12 players that would be in the regular lineup, I would think, that skated last night. And tonight, maybe it's closer to 6 or 7. They went with the line Donato, Beniers, Bjorkstrand last night was their top line. I don't love Donato on that line, but I certainly love Beniers and Oliver Bjorkstrand. It looks, like a great addition to this team. Burakovsky played with Wenberg and Donskoy. Donskoy can't play. He'll be off that line. They'll have somebody else up there. So they'll have to do some mixing and matching. What do you have? Like 2 goals? I mean, you guys had as many goals last year as he did. So, but there's, I thought there was reason. I'll tell you who I loved last night. I loved watching Riker Evans, the defenseman out of Regina. I thought he was sensational. He played with Adam Larson, and he was physical, especially early on. Maybe a little bit better shot than I thought. Really looked poised. I liked him a lot. I thought for sure, and he probably still is headed for the AHL, but they're not deep on the back end at all. I could see him maybe making this hockey team as a 20-year-old.
Well, he's not going to like that, Ian. He grew up in Saskatchewan, you said? Why would he want to play in Seattle?
Just stop.
Anyways, it's an old argument. I'm sorry to bring it up.
Well, you know what? He could play. I mean, here's the thing. These guys, it's not a bad deal. You're not getting sent to Abbotsford. You're getting sent to Palm Springs in the AHL.
Oh, I know the farm. Hey, give us.
You kidding me?
Hey, give us a Cole Lind update.
What do you want? He didn't play. I guess he's playing tonight. I assume, right? Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Don't count him out. He's a good kid. Listen,
good guy, good kid. Hey,
good agent.
His agent's a really nice guy.
Let me be half serious for a second, because I know this is a touchy subject, and so I'm being careful with this. We joke around a lot, the three of us, I know, and Ryan. So Virtanen played last night.
Yeah.
And And it was a preseason game, and there's a lot of young guys in there. A lot of guys that are in the AHL or ECHL, maybe are going back to juniors or playing. Like Reed Schaefer was sent right back down to Seattle after the game.
Yeah, he was.
But Virtanen, you still see something there. I mean, you still see something there. I'll be interested to see what they do with him. I mean, he can when he wants to. I guess right. You guys would know better than anybody. But like in a game like that where you don't recognize a lot of names, or you're just kind of watching and who pops off the screen. He popped a little bit last night.
Oh, okay.
Kraken mascot. It's going to be unveiled on Saturday. What are the possibilities for an A-Rod? Is that a possibility for a name?
Yeah.
Do we know?
Boy, I don't know, man. Listen, that is just I guess it's going to be an octopus or something. I don't know.
It's going to be a Kraken, isn't it?
Kraken.
That's my guess.
Isn't that an octopus or a sea squid or whatever, the sea urchin or sea cucumber, whatever the
bottle
hell it
of
is?
rum.
Find those in the bottom of the in White Rock somewhere, right? Just crawling around. I don't know what it is. They did a big thing. They did it on TV. They did it in arena too. And the funny thing was, sometimes they don't think too deep, I guess. But they did a video with 3 young youth hockey players, and you saw the video. Well, then they brought in Detlef Schrempf, the old Sonic, who played the UW, and the girl says, "Oh, something about Squatch, which was the old Sonic mascot, and something about this." And Detlef Schrempf goes, "The Sonics are coming back." Well, I guess in arena the place erupted, so now that's getting all the attention. It's not even
the mascot
versus the mascot or the hockey team. It's like, oh yeah, hey, the Sonics are coming back, which we've talked about that. It's a foregone conclusion. It's just when, and it's basically whenever you see a shovel get put in the ground in Vegas and they start building that casino, hotel, and arena, then you'll have a timeline, and they have to get the CBA done with the NBA. But yeah, they kind of took the focus off of the mascot and did that. And I don't know. mascots not always my thing. Probably because my daughter was terrified of them growing up. So
yeah. And Ian, I'm pretty sure when it comes to mascots, and we talk about this a lot on the show, you're not the target audience. just so you know, okay?
No,
believe it or not.
When you said that, I thought, talking about mascots, like I thought you were going to bring up the fact that, like, kind of Ryan's your mascot, right? Like he's Donnie and Dolly mascot.
Hey, and one more thing, very quickly, what's the deal? As I go into my Jerry Seinfeld here,
what's the deal?
What's the deal with drones and sporting events in the Seattle area?
And then the fact that everyone thought it was UW's drone on Saturday at the Husky game, and then they come out and say no, it wasn't. Well, there's no way to prove it one way or the other. And then there's a drone again. The drone at Lumen, my understanding was it was never actually over the stadium. We couldn't see it from the press box. The photographers on the field said they never saw it, but I think it was outside. I don't know. Those things are a pain in the backside. So, where you can fly them, it's really restrictive. I mean, over a big, a stadium, but also, any type of, airspace. Like, for example, when we were doing pregame shows and training camp specials out at Seahawks training camp, because of the seaplanes and the Renton Airport's right there where Boeing's kind of based out of with all the testing, we couldn't even have a 200-foot drone there either. So they take that stuff serious, Donnie. They take it serious. Drones are a serious thing down here in the States. I don't know if do you guys have that technology up there yet?
No, we don't. Okay. Yeah. There's one. Right. They're working on one in an igloo somewhere up here. Yeah, we'll get back to you on that.
Right next to the maple tree where they're draining out the syrup.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, a Mounty's doing the draining of the maple syrup.
In the little red coat, right?
That's right, of course, with a hat, the whole bit.
Definitely do right.
There's a bear in the background. Yeah, perfect.
I don't know how you guys get through this. I mean, we're doing this on Zoom, and that's really wild.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Only show in Canada that has that technology. I know those guys, Sakaris and Price, don't. So
yeah. Oh, who? A couple of tin cans. All right. Thanks for this, Ian. Appreciate it. Ian Furness, KJR.